stay engaged past that, since they're moving out of state.
If I may to clarify, it's not a similar group in the sense of what the Bean is doing, it's more of a similar group from a business cluster.
Gotcha.
That would make it clear,
Okay.
it's not doing what we're doing. There is, to my knowledge, there's no other state in the union that is currently doing what we're doing. So while they're making business activities in South Carolina, North Carolina, and things of that nature, there's nothing of this nature.
Okay, good. And then with Floor, he is connected with Jack Spenda and is waiting to get a response. Floor and Lightbridge, he met with the president and CEO, Seth Gray, at his office. He felt that we were asking for too much money for a small company, and I think there were sufficient benefits for them. However, he will present to the board. And by the way, he may be interested in serving on the next up and at the board. And then Virginia Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll do the free one.
Don't cost
Yeah, so that's, I'm just reading what he said. And then with Tech, that he has put a request in to Ralph Byers, senior advisor to the president, and that's in process right now. So we have pending with Floor and Tech, negative on MHI and thorium, and he is not connected with Christopher Newport, which I believe was also on his list.
We'll try, we can make a run of TerraPower. See if we're doing it Friday, just some work from that, as a subcontract. Pardon? They're having work done in Virginia.
I mean, I don't know how that looks. You wrote it in, you got it.
Oh, for the consortium?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a requirement. I haven't looked at the statute in a while, I don't remember that there's a requirement.
Yeah, definitely.
For consortium membership.
Okay.
I think we wanted to have, it would help me here, I mean, mess this up, but there was some preference to have people of the consortium who were doing business in Virginia. Otherwise, we didn't feel the commitment and the connection would be there. Even if they were working in nuclear science technology, if there wasn't some relatable aspect that was clearly connected to the state of Virginia, we weren't going to make them a
But
primary.
they don't need to be Virginia companies.
Agreed. Well, yeah,
So
not all the
nice to
companies
have
on here are
connection.
home-based in Virginia, they just have business in Virginia. So I agree with you, Lorena, totally in that sense. So, Dave, are you going to be able to reach out to Virginia Tech, given your connections too?
I can try.
Yeah, but my son graduated from there too, and we have a big thing with the Corps Cadets, so I was going to ask them to see if they could influence from that end, so. You know, we definitely want to see, obviously, all the major universities represented. Which are all the best universities in the country are in Virginia.
This is terrific progress, I think.
You want to reach
Yeah, Atlantic Group headquarters moved to North Carolina. I was not able to reach them.
Okay.
And obviously Jefferson Lab and NASA, they cannot join, it's not moved their budgets for this kind of stuff. And I'm still waiting for a response from the Norfolk shipyard.
So you're waiting for Norfolk Naval Shipyard to get back to you, okay?
I gave the paperwork to one of my neighbors who is the director in the Navy system, so he said he'll talk to them.
We have 6 yeses and we have 11 maybes and a number of noes. So arguably, if just the maybes all say yes, we could be successful with warming this up. So I think it just means we need to make sure we continue to push forward. Is there anything else anybody of the group of the recruitment committee, special recruitment committee, wants to say in front of the board before we turn it back over to the chairman?
I think we'll loop back through and double team everybody. So we're going to do that later.
Got it. We'll take the action to look back through and double team all the possibles, and we'll send out information for us all to circle back with everybody. Maybe we'll reform up who's doing what as the double teams if you've already got yeses or if you already know where you are with the group that you have. Is that okay with everybody in the special committee for recruitment? Excellent. All right, Mr. Chairman, that's our report. We'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Good report, nice work. Let's keep it going. Probably ought to just maybe run through the list that we have of everybody who's lived here and see if anybody else that might be a target for this.
We'll take the action together, so look at that list.
Great, thank you all. That's concludes the old business, new business. Randy, update on the Virginia Energy Commission?
Yes, sir. There are, if everybody checks on the left-hand side of their documents, PowerPoint right here, this is something that our office has been talking to a legislator, a couple of key folks about. The governor had, the purpose of doing this is to give the board an idea of there's several energy climate initiatives the governor's going on, that the governor has started in the last several months. They all kind of blend together and overreach a little, overlap some. So I just wanted to make the group aware of what's going on, because there's opportunities for us to get involved and to raise our profile, raise nuclear, in the eyes of policymakers. And I just want to make sure everyone kind of understood some of the things here. First thing the governor is working on is the Virginia energy plan. Al Christopher, who is a part of this group, as well as Gapati, are both on the board and staff the commission. And basically, this is that the Virginia Energy Council is a group that's put together to advise the governor on update of the plan. They've been going through a process of statewide listening sessions. They have a draft plan, which they're taking comment on, and this is something that we have, Sama has put together a draft input for us. A lot of different energy efficiency, conservation related groups have provided input and advice to the commission, and we thought it was an opportunity for us to share thoughts on nuclear energy in Virginia. The Sama is going to go over a draft of that. The timeline on that is we need to have any comment to them by the 1st of August. So hopefully from today's meeting we can get something very close to what we can have a final document for them. That plan will be released the 1st of October, and then they're going to update that again 2 years into the term. Climate Change Commission, the second slide here. This is something that Governor Kane had 4 years ago. The previous governor did not do. Basically, this is a 1 year charge the governor's given to the Climate Commission to look at the recommendations from the previous commission, what was done, what was not done, and then the focus is on two areas: mitigating greenhouse gas, and then and this is really one of the primary focuses of the governor's, adapt to rising sea levels issues in Norfolk. That is something I think that is happening, and you're going to see a lot of more about this over the next couple of years. But they're going to be taking comment as well over the next year. I think that they may have a couple legislative initiatives this year, but I think that the bulk of them will probably be next year. So there'll be an opportunity for us to provide some input, if the group would like, on nuclear energy related to climate change. And of course, everyone knows the 11D rule that was offered last month. That there's two processes going on from the state right now. And that first, DEQ is responsible for providing the state formal feedback, which is due by October the 16th. They started listening sessions yesterday. There's 4 of them across the state. The deadline for all input is October 16th. I think it's something that the board should consider whether or not we want to provide input on nuclear energy to the, actually something directed to EPA. Obviously, the 6% that nuclear generation counts towards our goal, is something that's going to be very difficult for us to make our goals. If that is maintained, this could be an opportunity for us to present something there. And then finally, that in conjunction with the energy plan, there's a study going on by the Virginia Center for Coal and Energy at Virginia Tech. that will be presented that will show the effects as they see it of Virginia meeting those EPA standards. So those are three of the things that we're kind of working on right now. I'm happy to answer any kind of process questions there. But from the way I see it is that these are all opportunities for us to weigh in. As far as raising the profile of our group, let policymakers know we're out there, and raise profile of nuclear and other states. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knew what was going on. Godpotty is a member of the council. Al Christopher runs the council. So if there's any questions, they can be happy to answer them for you as well. So
All right, let's talk first about the energy plan, because that's coming right up on us, and I'm happy to welcome our good friend, Mr. Jobs. Good to see you there. Clearly, I mean, these are the things, this is why we're here, to make sure we have input and we are contributing and making some voices heard in these proceedings. I'm a little worried about an August 1 deadline, which if I count my days right, like a week.
yeah.
So first question I would have is how firm is that? How flexible can it be if we want 2 more weeks, just to make sure that we really have a document that we want to submit to them that's the right document?
Al might be able to give us the best thoughts on that, but I think if we want the whole commission to be able to review it as they consider their comments, that starts August 1st, correct?
Well, there are a couple of deadlines,
Yeah.
and Randy, you were too generous in your description of my role. I'm the staff, I don't run the council. Secretary Jones convenes the council. But we have a couple of deadlines that are pertinent. The second meeting of the council is August 18. So we want to have another draft, a more refined draft of both the technical plan and the recommendations portion of the plan. 3 weeks before that, that's where August 1 comes in, I think, to give them, the council, about a week to provide additional input, and then give the staff about 2 weeks to revise and rewrite. So August 1 is not chiseled in granite. It would be good if maybe after today there was a good indication of some of the key recommendations that we feel safe about. But August 1 would be good because it wouldn't have to be sent in to the council members as an addendum, which would be required if it came in after that date.
So, let me just ask a question, if I may.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I always felt that one of the real values that should come out of this organization, this process, is in fact to make policy recommendations to the Commonwealth for steps that could be taken either administratively or legislatively or both or whatever that can help enhance the presence of the nuclear industry here, whatever that means. But do I hear you saying that that kind of specificity of policy recommendations, it needs to be part of what we have to submit by August 1 or August 18? That's going to be pretty tough.
Not entirely, because the energy plan is not a static document. August 1 would be the date for it to make the draft that goes to the Virginia Energy Council that was created by the executive order of the governor. The input could be added after that date. As conceivably, it could be added after September 1, which is the deadline for the staff to complete the work, considering all the input from the council and the other sources of input, the public and subject matter experts and various organizations who have applied great effort. And hopefully this will be one of those. So that window from September 1 to October 1 is when it's in the governor's office for their final consideration.
Al, just as we think about the timing of this and what it is we need to accomplish, I noticed you have listening opportunities around the state, but is there any purposeful outreach going out to the particular energy sectors and companies in those sectors, or would we be the only voice on nuclear? In other words, where might there be other input coming? And I'm just trying to think,
Okay.
do we have to cover the waterfront, or? is there other input from the nuclear sector?
I think that the input from this body is key because of your connections to the industry. We have used subject matter experts to help the staff review and confirm the accuracy and completeness of the technical content of the plan, not the recommendations. So the plan has been circulated, and remember the council is Dr. Ganapati representing this organization. Other members